Facebook. Hello, YouTube. You guys make sure that you speak and say hello, or else I won't know that you're here. What's up, TikTokers? How are you? It has been a couple of days since I went live. Hey, Ashley, good to see you. How are you? What's up, Willie V? Hey, Michael, good to see you guys. I know I don't have a subject matter up here today, but that is literally for a purpose on TikTok. Hey, Brian. Hello. What's up, Lakeisha? How are you? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Britt. How is everyone? Trying to get everything up and running. Hey, Jennifer. What's up, Farah? Good to see you. Hey, Red Hot. How is everyone? Again, YouTube, Facebook, make sure that you speak. I won't be able to see that you are in here if you don't. Hello, Jennifer. What's up, Mel Gray? Hey, Kimber. Good to see you. What's up, DJ20? How is everyone? I probably should put a background up, but I'm not. And I'm not putting a background up because I don't know how friendly TikTok is going to be to me on this subject. So we'll just wait and see. How about that? What's up? One average woman. Good to see you. What's up, Brittany? Hey, Daily. What's up, everybody? Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. What's up, Hilda? How are you? Thank you guys for joining the team. As soon as you all come in, I greatly appreciate it. So we're gonna, hey Alice, that live that you were on this morning was bonkers. It was interesting. You know, I've gone past like 1993 Twins live like a couple of times before, but I think that's literally the very first time I've been on a panel with them. So yeah, it was definitely interesting, right? What's up, Conchita? Hey Alice, how is everyone? What's up, Renee? So if you are on Facebook or YouTube, you can see the title of this live. If you are on TikTok, you cannot. Because I wasn't sure how friendly TikTok was going to be to me. Because I want to talk. So like on TikTok, on YouTube and Facebook, the title of the live is Pimps, Canes, and Lauren Boebert. And you know TikTok is not going to get down with Pimp, Canes, and Lauren Boebert. So thank you for sharing the live Watts. I appreciate it. What's up, Masani? Good to see you. But this kind of led me down this path. What's up, Beach Bum wannabe? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? TikTok, I even was going to put up graphics and I thought, the chosen gift. I don't even know what the gift is, to be honest. Oh, because it's not Friday. That's because that was the last time I went live. That's the problem. Sorry, guys. Let me get my act together, right? I should get it together. Should I not? I should. All right. So let's talk. Let's dive right into this. So I'm going to share with you where I got and how I got there, and then we're going to kind of be over. We'll be able to go from there. Not so loud, Sissy Bear, please. Let's see. Is that better? Yes, I am confirming. All right. So here we go. That should be cool. Time for holy shit, it's Monday. Right, Mel Gray. That definitely. YouTube, Facebook, make sure that you speak. If you do not say hi in the comments, I don't know that you're there. What's up, old school? Thanks, Sherry. Yeah, I was on. So for those of you all who missed it, I was on a 1993 Twins panel today for quite a while. I have never been on their panel before, but I had seen their live before. They popped into my live. You just finished reading my Substack. What'd you think, Grammy? I just popped that out really quickly in between things. So as you all know, I wear many hats. And so I was on there for quite a while today. What's up? Leave me nice. And it was it was several different topics and conversations, which I thought was interesting. I'm laughing and cracking up because apparently there was somebody on there named Joel Patrick, who I'm guessing is supposed to be some very, very well-known, what's his name? Joe, like he calls himself a good black conservative, whatever the hell that means. And so y'all know me. I'm usually not on. You kept laughing at my expressions. And see, y'all know my face is just my face, right? So whatever you see is here. I don't really hide it very well. You can just read it. My face tells on myself, right? And so thanks, Grammy. I appreciate that. And so, yeah, so I was over there for quite a while and I did not, what's up, Linda Sims? Good to see you. And so I'm not familiar with him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about his stuff. And so today was my very first interaction with him. And so, I did really well up until the time that I cussed him out. Now, y'all know me. If you get me to the point where I did curse you out, what's up, Amy? It's definitely because you earned it. Like I don't get there quickly. It takes a minute. And all of that. So I was very patient, but by the time I got to that, because he was just coming at me crazy. Yeah, Cat Whisperer. It got there, Marnie. It got there for sure. It was when I was on 1993 Twins live today on TikTok earlier today. But so the thing, hey Mimi, just not so loud, okay, baby? So the thing that I want to talk about right now, and it kind of let me down. He does have a huge ego. What's up, Macaroni? Tell Sue I said hello. And hey, Skyflower, good to see you. Yeah, he's very condescending, very, very egotistical, very all the things, right? And that's just what I didn't like him. You just have no integrity. You have no real interest in people. So like you say you want to educate and you want to inform. To what end? To what end, right? Because listen, the triple K people, they like to educate and inform, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing. Like you can educate and inform people and it be a very negative thing, right? What's up? It's me. I love me, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, he eventually got me there. And I did, in fact, end up cursing him out because he kept trying to like interrupt me. And then finally I was like, let me just go ahead and handle you. So, but I went down this rabbit hole today, you guys, because I saw the comment from Lauren Boebert about Al Green. How many of you all saw this comment? And normally I don't talk about these things because they're frivolous, but as I started to go down this rabbit hole about her comment, it took me somewhere else. You haven't seen it, Sarah? Sherry, you haven't seen it? Okay. Well, she was on one of these damn shows, Fox or one of them, and she made the comment that it was not right, it was inappropriate or whatever for Al Green to shake his pimp cane at Donald Trump. That's what she said. She called it a pimp cane. What's up, Terrence? What's up, Super G? And so let me just start out by saying this. Okay, so there's nothing in me that doesn't already know. No, I'm not kidding you. Y'all didn't see this? How the fuck did y'all not see it and I saw it? But yeah, so that's what she said. She said he shook his pimp cane at Donald Trump. And so the first thing about this is, so there's no surprise for me that Lauren Boebert is a racist and an ableist. Like there's no surprise in that. Is there? I mean, is anyone surprised by this? Because I'm certainly not, right? I mean, I know who she is. I've seen plenty of Lauren Boeberts when I was growing up in my lifetime, right? Like this is not a surprise, right? Oh, you missed it? Well, I'm glad I had something for y'all. So this is not surprising. But let me share with you all how I got to where I'm at and the reason that I'm live right this second and the reason I'm talking about this is because I was going to go, well, let me do a little post. At first, I was going to do a post about it. And so I was going to do a little background with like a little pimp cane and a pimp and a whatever. And then here's what took me down this road. I ended up getting a little bit irritated. And here's why. Don't laugh at me, Red Hot. But so here's the thing. So I went to Canva and I was going to create a little background for me to do a video on and all the things, right? And when I did, I put in cane. And of course, I got all these different types of canes. And I got these little graphics of old people with canes and this, that, and the other and all the things. But I thought, I wonder what happens when I put in pimp. Wonder what happens when I do that. Does anybody want to care to guess the images that came up or the elements that came up in Canva when I put in pimp? Anybody care to guess? Hey, Athena. Black men, 100%. 100%, 100%, 100%. And then I went to Google to do the same thing. And the people represented were disproportionately images of Black men. And it was that 1970s pimp hat, leopard print coat. It was that image that was everywhere when I put in the word pimp. And I thought, well, that's interesting, right? Now, if you all haven't ever played this game, what's up, Gina? If you all haven't ever played this game, I call it a game. It's not really a game, but if you've never gone to Google to see what images come up when you put something in, it's really interesting when you do. For example, if we were to do this all together right now, so hold on a second, Mila Ann, please sit down and be still. So I'm going to Google and I'm just going to type in beautiful woman. Okay. Now, let me show you. I'm just going to share my screen. And you all can see I put in beautiful woman, right? And if I go to the images page, anybody care? Now, you'll see Lupita because she's a Black celebrity. But the majority, look, Google's gotten better. It might hear me talking about it. You know that AI be talking shit. They be listening now. But it used to be literally, and it's still, they're doing better, but they got 1, 2, 3 of Lupita, right? Let me do beautiful women. See, there we go. This is more accurate. This is more accurate. So you all see the pictures that I get. So, and stock photos are the same way, right? So let me turn my camera around so y'all can see. Maybe. Where's my camera? I'm going to flip my camera. So, of course, this is what you see. If I type in beautiful women, there's Lupita, right? But other than that, and we know this is another Viola Davis, right? It is getting better, but they're still only celebrities. Now, here's what's funny. In order to have beautiful Black women, they have to be celebrities. But to be beautiful white women, they can be any damn body. It's interesting, but it is getting better, right? So anyway, this is something that, right, beautiful woman photo, and it's almost never anybody that's a person of color, right? And so it's that way a lot. And so this is something that I would share with you all too, is that this used to be something that was even worse, right? Right. You don't see anybody that is overweight. Everybody is slim. Everybody is right. They all look the same. Appreciate that, Small City. And so we have this crazy beauty ideal in this country that defaults. Now, here's what I think is interesting about this. When I type in beautiful woman photo, beautiful women photo, right? By default, I get predominantly white women. But that's because that's the default. Remember how we've had this conversation around white being the default when we talk about people, right? Even when we talk about reporting, when we talk about crime statistics, when we talk about whatever, you never read an article that talks about the person being a certain type of color unless that is like the perpetrator or whatever. That's just the default. Which is why white people are so sensitive to when you say white people, because y'all not used to being called by the color of your skin. People of color are, right? And so that's just one of those things that you see. White is the default. Now, hey, Warner, good to see you. But as I went down this road, for those of you guys who are catching up, thank you for the live on air, Betty. I appreciate that. So as I kind of went down this road and I was thinking of, yeah, baby, I have. Okay, so when we're talking about this, I went down this road. Oh, thanks you guys for hitting the goal already. And I started looking up. I looked at I looked up Canes, and then I looked up Pimp, and of course, it was predominantly Black men. Who set that as a goal? I didn't pick no pink dresses as a goal. TikTok be tripping sometimes. I'm like, who picked that goal? I did not pick that goal, but okay, TikTok. Y'all know me. I pick one coin goals, and TikTok had some pink dress, which I haven't even seen the pink dress. So I don't even know what it is. But anyway, so it got me to thinking about why is that the societal perception, and how does that societal perception actually compare to real life? How many of you guys have ever gone to look at the statistics, modern day statistics around human transportation? Y'all know what I mean, right? Oh, thanks. Oh, that's the pink dress. Thank you, Smile City. He wanted me to ask for 13 of those things. And I was like, I don't even know what that joker is, but thank you. So when I say human transportation, I mean human, what can I say this? Human, non-willing transportation. Okay. And I don't know if you all know, but human non-willing transportation is broken down into 3 separate laws that they prosecute under. Okay. Right. Transporting humans against their will. And I don't know if you all know this or not, but they break them down into 3 different categories based on 3 different federal laws. Did you all know that? Right, Harvey. I be trying. Involuntary relocation. Yeah, although, yeah, that was kind of the military. True. Okay, so let me just share this with y'all because y'all know I'm a fat girl. So first, let me tell you where I got this from. This is from, y'all know me, U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, the Bureau of Justice Statistics. This data was collected in 2023. Okay. So, and this came out in October of 2023. So this data is about a year and some change old. Okay. But I want to kind of give it to you because I was a little bit surprised, especially because there are differences in the types of unwanted or unagreed upon transporting of human beings. There's different types and different, and believe it or not, based on the type, there's actually different, what's up, T, baby? Matter of fact, listen, T, I recorded a video that I need to send to you. I meant to text it to you last night because we were on a wicked gym, the girls and I. And so Bella girl is sitting in front of, she's sitting on the floor and we're watching it and she's singing along because I have the captions at the bottom so she can sing along. And so I meant to send it to you. But anyway, okay, so let me share this with you guys. Okay, you ready? All right, so this is where I got the data from. It came out in October of 2023, and this is from the DOJ, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Statistics, okay? And the report includes information from, so I don't know if you all know that there was a CHTA, the Combat Human Transporting Act of 2015. It requires them to put out this annual report, okay? And so it has to include like arrests for human transporter offenses by state law enforcement officers. It also includes like convictions for those individuals and the prosecutions of those individuals and the sentences imposed. But nope, they do it every year, Bethy, the lefty. They have to do an annual report. And so let me just tell you. So here's what it says. It says, first of all, that there are actually 3 different federal laws that are defined. There are 3 different human transporting offenses defined according to 3 categories of federal statutes: peonage, slavery, forced labor, and schmex trafficking. For those of you guys who are on TikTok, I have to say it that way. So that's 18 USC 1581-1595. Now, the sexual exploitation and other abuse of minors is 18 USC 2251-2251A. And then the transportation for illegal sexual activity and related crimes is 18 USC 2422-2423.3. Okay, those are the 3 different ones. Now, I want to just, you guys are going to be flabbergasted. At least I was. Maybe you won't be flabbergasted. But listen to this. The total numbers for any of those 3 types of offenses, are you ready? 92% of the people that were investigated and prosecuted, 92% were male. I'm not surprised by that number. 92% were men. Yes. Yes. 60% were white. 20% were black. 16% were Hispanic. 95% were U.S. citizens, and 68% had no prior convictions. Yes. Yeah, you can open them. Okay, so I want to just point out a couple of things. We heard a lot leading up to this election cycle and afterwards about the ties related to immigration and undocumented immigrants as exactly, Lucretia, where I was going. Exactly, Lucretia, where I was going. So Lucretia's comment on TikTok, for those of you guys on Facebook and YouTube, is she said, but the administration is afraid of immigrants. Wow. And Christine says the same thing, the scary immigrant. Right. There's all this talk about somehow it is the undocumented immigrant. It is the non-citizen that we should be scared of, who's going to, snatch us up somewhere and transport us somewhere. Okay. But 95% of the people were U.S. citizens. Now, remember, careful. You okay?
I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay. Be careful, sissy.
I know, I'm fine.
Okay, you're fine? All right. So, again, what got me to go down this rabbit hole was Lauren Boebert referring to Al Green, congressman, referring to his outburst or his comments towards Donald Trump. She said that he was shaking his pimp cane at Donald Trump. That's what she said. Right? He was shaking his pimp cane. And so it took me down this rabbit hole of, listen, not all black men are pimps and not all pimps are black. And you know what I mean? Like all the way down. Yeah, that's what she said. That is what she referred to. Yeah. Oh, so y'all missed me saying that at the very beginning. So this is how I went down this rabbit hole. And so, yeah. Damn, I thought y'all would have known about this all the time because y'all usually are up on all the stuff before me. So let me just tell you exactly what she said, because that is what she said. And because people are mad and they're talking about her being accused of racism and ableism over her criticism of Al Green, which, by the way, this is no newsflash for me because this chick, I mean, if you don't know already that Lauren Boebert is racist, I don't know what to tell you about that because she is. So here's what happened. She was on Real America's Voice, which you all know is a far right outlet. And she was discussing his ejection from the House chamber. And this is what she said, quote, Al Green was given multiple opportunities to stand down, to sit down, to behave, to show decorum. And then she said, for him to go and shake his pimp cane at President Trump was absolutely abhorrent. Now, I guess that's more offensive than being felt up in the Beetlejuice theater. Yeah, behave. So this is what she said. And so this is what took me down this path is, number one, the reference to his walking cane as a pimp cane took me out. Right? Just took me out. And then it got worse because I went to go do a graphic, to do a video about it. And when I was in Canva, I searched up cane and I got a bunch of different canes to choose from. But when I searched up pimp in Canva, guess what the images were? So then I went to Google and I also searched up pimp in Google. Any guess what the predominant photos were? Right? They were all black men. Yeah. Yep. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. And it was the old fro with the Pimp Daddy hat and the feather and the, the animal print and the bell bottoms and all of that. Okay. So that's what took me to, of course, the real stats, because that's what your girl likes. I like facts. Thanks, Sunshine. I appreciate that. So I like facts. So I went to the Bureau of Justice Statistics website, and I found their report from October of 2023 on unwilling human transportation. I can't say the other T word on TikTok for my YouTube and Facebookers. Okay. So what's up, Wendy? Good to see you. Hey, Fran. So when I did this, it was very interesting because I went over already the 3 different federal laws where they break down the different types of unwilling human transportation, right? But out of all 3 of them, when you group them all 3 together, listen to this: 92% were males, 60% were white, 20% were black, 16% were Hispanic, 95% were U.S. citizens, and 68% had no prior convictions. Now, I just want to reiterate a couple of things. 92% male. I'm not shocked at that number at all. 60% white. I'm not shocked at that number. However, it's not represented in the image searches when we go to search for them, is it? It's not indicative of that. And it's certainly not what the Trump administration and the Trump campaign has perpetuated for the last however many years now. We're going up on like a good 12 years, right? What's up, Veronica? Good to see you. Hey, pro-democracy. And so it's not the stereotype, right, Dizzy? So again, I went and I just kind of kept going, but it also gets even more interesting. You ready? So when it comes to peonage, slavery, forced labor, right? Get this: 77% were male, 58% were black. Now check this one. You ready? That was 201 defendants. Out of the 582 defendants that were charged with sexual exploitation and other abuse of children, 92% were male and 72% were white. I want to say that part again, because there's a distinction between those 2 groups. 201 defendants were charged with peonage, slavery, forced labor, and schmex trafficking, right? 77% were male, 58% were black. In comparison, of the 582 defendants, okay, that were charged with sexual exploitation and other abuse of children, 92% were male and 72% were white. There's actually even a chart. So for my YouTube and Facebook folks, I am going to actually pull the chart up for you so that you can see it. And how about I do this for you guys, because y'all know me. Let's throw it in the link tree. Y'all want it in the link tree? Let me do that. I'm going to put it in the link tree for you. I'm going to put it in the link tree. Yeah, I am. I'm on at she said I'm on at a different time. I am. It's because I'm all over the place today and I'm trying to make life work for me. I just am. I'm trying to make life work, y'all, and trying to kind of figure it out, because I need to move the podcast to where it's going live. So the podcast is also going to be live a couple of times a week. And so I'm kind of testing out some different times to see what those things look like, and how they work. Okay, so I'm going to put in here DOJ. Okay, so this is going to be in the link tree now. I think it's going to be. Okay, boom. It's there. Okay, so if you want to look at this along with me, you can do so in the link tree. If you are on, right, Linda, Mila, you gotta listen, babe. Okay, so
I want you to take that.
You want what, honey?
I want you to let.
You want me to what?
Let.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to wait a second.
I want you to be a let.
Me to do a what?
She wants you to be Owlette.
Owlette?
Yes.
Oh, you want me to be Owlette from PJ Masks?
No, me, I'll be Owlette.
Oh, you're Owlette. Okay. All right, Owlette. Let me finish working and then we can play, okay? All right. So for those of you guys that are on YouTube, okay, your name can be Mimi too.
I need Mimi and Mila.
Okay, your name is Mila, Mimi, and Mila. So I'm going to go down here to the chart for those of you guys who are on here, and I'm going to blow it up so you can see a little bit better. How is that? So if you're on Facebook and YouTube, that's the numbers that I'm looking for from. So this is the chart. Thanks, Plants on the Spectrum. I appreciate that. She is. It's one of my grandbabies. So for those of you guys who do not know, if you are new to me, I wear many, many hats. One of them is the fact that I'm a mother and a grandmother. And their mom works and she's in school. And so I have them all the time, and life be life. And so I go live and I do the work however I can do it. Because here's what I know is that resistance and elections and society and humanity doesn't wait for life to be perfect, or for life to be quiet and calm. And so we just have to make it work the way that we make it work. So that's how it is. So that is Mila that you hear back there. Linda, he's still got a low grade fever. I'm gonna have to see if he gets his. He may need to get checked for an ear infection. So we shall see. So here are the other numbers that I thought was really interesting. So the across the board, just so that everybody gets it, across the board, when it comes to transportation for the illegal schmexual activity, you have, hold on a second, 62.2% white, 98% male, right? Right, as we have always done. You got it. 71.7%, that is the sexual exploitation and other abuse of children. 72% white males, okay? When we look at just the total overall is 60%. And so, okay, so y'all, TikTok's giving me this damn flash goal thing. 40 gifters to send a heart puff in 15 minutes. Okay, whatever. That's what it's saying. So it wants 40 of you all, 40 different people. And it's going to sound really crazy while they do this, but TikTok is doing the thing. It's the very first link in the link tree, Fran. And I just labeled it like DOJ human transporting stats, right? But the reason why I think it's important, I'm going to wait until this is done. It's got to be almost done. Surely to goodness, it's got to be almost done. Oh, 8 more, almost there. Oh, it went away. Don't ask me why it asked for these. Hey, Eric, good to see you. What's up, Angie? Hey, Michelle's on. Dana G, Celia B, all these folks. You have it up. Great, Linda. Love that. Love that. Okay. So what's the point that I'm making behind this? The point that I'm making behind this, hey, Receive Grace, is we need 6 more dirty bad bloggers. Thanks for telling me. Hey, Eileen. The point behind this is the stereotypes and how much they have infiltrated just everyday life. If it's that way when I go to Canva, if it's that way when I go to Google, if it's that way when I go online, it's that way when high school students are researching papers. It's that way when middle school students, when college students are researching information. It's that way when the people who support the current administration hear us say, go do your research, and they type in things, they see the same images. And so how do they get to the place where they see the data more than they see the images? Because we all know that images stick. Thank you guys for hitting that goal. I appreciate it, right? We know that the images stick, and it sticks with people. So like as soon as I got off, not as soon as I got off, but after I was on 1993's live this morning, I got off, got Bella off the bus, got them a snack, and then came in here. And hey, great choice. Glad to see you. And so then I came in and I wrote a quick little post for my Substack, right? Why? Because here's what I truly believe. I believe that we have changed laws and not hearts. Not to say that we haven't changed any hearts, But to say when it comes to the hearts of the individuals that are in the positions of power that create our systems, that enforce our systems, right? Those are the hearts that have not changed. And so, what's up, Doug? So, like, there's a poet friend of mine, Dasan, who I love and adore, and we used to do brunch all the time, and and so he's always been a thanks, Smile City. He's always been a change the system, fight the powers that be kind of guy, and I hear you. I believe that the system needs to be changed and altered. Here's what I also believe. I believe that if you change the system, meaning the laws, if you change the laws and you change the policy, but you do not change the hearts and minds of the people that are over it, it will have very little impact long term. And then we will automatically end up back where we were, which is how we got to where we are today. True or not true? Right? So where did we miss it? What we did was we made racism unpopular. We made it socially unacceptable. So it went from being brazenly out in the street with signs telling you which bathrooms to be in, what entrances to come in, where you could sit in the restaurant, and what water fountains to drink out of. It went from those things to private kitchen conversations, to corporate boardroom conversations, to private wealthy meetings about how do we maintain our positions of power. How do we seem like we are forward facing, front facing, accommodating and complying with these new legal challenges and these legal changes. But how do we do that front facing while still maintaining our positions of power and the like? And that's what we did predominantly. Now, that sounds like, holy shit, Danny, that's very depressing. That doesn't give me much hope, all the things. But there is a big but there, right? Yeah, it just got hidden. Now, here's what I will say is that we are talking about two completely different things, though. So listen, there were plenty of white people and other groups of people that became aware and less bigoted and less prejudice over that time. That's a true thing, right? But you and all know we have talked about this for a while. Linda said, thank God there's a but. But listen, we've talked about this for a while. What is the difference between prejudice, bigotry, and racism? Because they are three different things. So if you all have a pen and paper, I want you to write down her name. I have given her name and her website out plenty of times. But her name is Debbie Irving. She's a really great educator when it comes to social justice issues. And so she talks about the differences between prejudice, bigotry, and racism. Okay. And there is a difference. What we understand is that a lot of people use those words interchangeably, and they're not. Right. So the racism is about a power dynamic through systems. And that is something that in the United States of America, that ability has only existed through one group of people. Hey, not so loud, please. Okay. And so when we think about that, that's the difference. So check this out. I believe, and this is just my humble opinion, is that we did make great strides when it comes to prejudice, bigotry, and racism within the middle and middle to lower class. The places where we didn't make it as much is in the very wealthy and the very poor. The people that live in those extremes are where shifts weren't really made. Because these people want to maintain their power. And so they need racism to do that. And then they need to perpetuate the messaging of that, right, to the very poor to make them mad at everybody else about their circumstances so that they won't be mad at them. Right, Marnie. So that explains the Donald Trump base. It's the very, very wealthy and the poor. That's his base. The majority of the people in the middle, they're not really for it. Irving, IRVING. Yep, Debbie Irving. And so she has a great little blog. If you go to debbieirving.com,
Let me get your book.
hold on, I'm going to pull it up. She has a great little blog. So at the top, she has these little boxes, right, on her site. And the third box from the left says, are prejudice, bigotry, and racism the same thing? And here's what I love. So when you click it, it's just three simple things. It says, no, they're not the same thing. And prejudice is when a person negatively prejudges another person or group without getting to know the beliefs, thoughts, and feelings behind their words and actions. A person of any racial group can be prejudiced towards a person of any other racial group, which we know that. Black people can be prejudiced. Newsflash, I'm prejudiced. We all have prejudices. We all do. We all do. The question is, do you confront it? Do you explore it? Do you challenge it? What do you do with it when you know that you have it, right? Yes. Okay, I'm excited. So I have a pediatrician friend of mine who has agreed to join me on one of my live streaming podcast episodes to discuss measles and vaccinations and things like that, which I'm extremely excited about. So yay. All right. So, so the second part is when she talks about bigotry, she says bigotry is stronger than prejudice, right? It has a severe mindset. It has a discriminatory behavior. It's angry. It's mean-spirited. It's arrogant, but it doesn't require systems or power to engage in it, right? So a lot of times when we talk about Karens and we call them racist, the Karen themselves is a bigot who uses the system of racism. It's that system where she knows she can call the police and they are going to believe her over the person of color that they are talking to, right? They're not the same thing. There's a power dynamic and a system involved, Now, if you're talking about the police officer, then that is the racist, right? Because they are in that system, using that system of power. And so when you understand that the system is what allows the racial group that's already in power to retain power. And in this country, that's only been white people. Yeah, I love this. Listen, the first time I got this, I was like, holy crap. Thanks, Bethy Lefty. I was like, oh, this is so good because people can easily make the distinction between these three things. Easily. What's up, Eli? And so that is why I really, really, really like her. So, but when we talk about this, the difference, right, that we have in this country, and the imaging that we have, right? We have when you think about the history of this country and what it has taken for us to get where we are, we have to start having conversations. You love her site? Yay, I do. I love her site too. Do you know one of the reasons why I really love her site, Linda? Is because she just says it in plain English. There's no like really fancy words. She says it in a way that everyone can get it. And I believe that's the most important thing that we can all be doing when we have conversations. It does us no good to talk using, eloquent words and big words and all the things, right? Hey, Thea, and not have, because here's what we know. People will not ask for clarification most of the time if they don't know what a word means, or if they don't know what someone means by that. They'll just say yes and they'll just nod their head and keep going because there's this sense of embarrassment or shame. And when you consider the fact that over half of this country is like proficient in reading on like a sixth grade level, it becomes imperative that we use language that everybody can understand. We have to use language that everyone gets. And one of the drawbacks to the Democratic Party last year was this talk, and two sides of it, right? There was this talk using very, very, very educated, very whatever language, and at the same time demeaning Trump supporters. How many times have you heard people say this? Oh, if they can understand it, if they can get it, Trump likes dumb people. If you continually say that to people who support Trump, they are not going to listen to you. What can you possibly offer them? You couldn't tell me anything if I heard you say that. So when I went back and I wrote this little quick Substack thing, the point was, okay, we change laws and not hearts. So how do we change hearts so that whether or not we change laws? And I'll tell you what got me to thinking about this even more so was this morning, I kept seeing this meme that was going around. Everybody's sharing this little graphic, right? Thanks, Brandy, for reminding people to tap. Everybody was sharing this graphic. Have you all seen the list of all the words that are disappearing from federal policy that everybody is just posting? These are the words that are going away. Have you all seen that? I thought about that today. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Okay, so I thought about that today. And I thought, but here's the thing. You can eliminate the words from the policy, but that doesn't eliminate the existence of the words. It doesn't eliminate the knowledge and the growth that we've had over the last 40 years. Oh, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. You follow me, y'all? They can say all day long that we're not putting in our policy that we're going to have DEI. They can say that. And yes, that sucks. And yes, it's horrible. And guess what? They cannot take it away from the people that have already learned that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a good thing. They cannot take away the knowledge that we have gained about the beauty in different people. They cannot get us to unknow what we've learned. You know how when you talk about, once you've seen a thing, you'd be like, damn, I can't unsee that. You can't unsee the civil rights movement. You can't unsee George Floyd. You can't unsee. I don't care if they paint over that damn mural in DC. You can't unsee it. We know it was there. It was around the world. The entire world joined in for that moment. And guess what? For people who think that George Floyd was about one man, you have missed it. You have missed it. It was about the ability for there to be that man. Do you understand? It was about the fact that we live in a society where for 8 minutes and 53 seconds, the world watched. People watched officers unalive this man. So it wasn't about that singular man. It was about the fact that this is the thing that could occur in the United States of America. Let me ask y'all this. How many of you guys have seen, right, it was a defining moment, Health and Happiness. It was a defining moment because it wasn't hidden. It wasn't backdoor. It wasn't whatever, right? It's similar with Emmett Till, Desi, but different. It's a new version of Emmett Till, and I'm going to tell you why. So what we got from Emmett Till at that time was the open casket and the undeniable end result of what they did. That was different than watching it in real time. That was different than watching it and waiting for the clock to pass. Have you all ever done this? Because I've done it before. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to show you guys something. Boom, 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 boom.
Whoa.
Bless it. If I could do a thing, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it, y'all? Hey, Bella, can Tutu see your phone for one moment, Mom? Bella, can I see your phone for one moment, sis?
Yep. What is it?
I'm lying. It's going to be a little bit longer than one moment, but just give me a minute, okay? Okay.
No.
So give me 1 second, okay, baby?
Okay.
And then I'll give it back. Yes, ma'am.
I want to have better phone.
Okay, well, you have to wait. Where's your phone?
My phone.
Yes.
No, mine too.
Never mind, she said. Okay, so listen, here's what we're going to do for just a moment. And I know this is going to seem really weird, and TikTok might not like it, but this is what I would like for us to do, right? I'm not going to say a word, and I want you all to listen in silence for 8 minutes and 53 seconds.
My phone's on.
Your phone is on? No?
Two.
Okay. Bella can charge it for you. You can have it while it goes. Okay, you ready? 8 minutes and 53 seconds. Just don't speak. Do not speak for 8 minutes and 53 seconds, and let's just see how long this is. Oh, you know what, baby? I could probably help you over here. Give me 1 second, folks. Y'all know I multitask like anybody's business because I have beautiful grandbabies all the time, right? Doing the thing. This one over here is all about it. Oh, let me stop sharing with you guys. Okay, calm. Yes, right, Tracy. And I've done it before. I did it on Facebook, I want to say a while back. All right. Stop singing. Okay, ready? Here we go. We are going to start. 8 minutes and 53 seconds starts now.
Well, I hate you.
Thank you, Training Alpha. This is the 8 minutes and 53 seconds for George Floyd. I'm asking us to be just silent while we. Hasn't even been 2 minutes.
Choo 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 choo. Bella wants me. Choo choo. Bella wants me. Pick me. Pick me. Poo-poo. What time is it?
It's 5:14, okay?
Bella, what Bella phone doing?
She's counting down for me. Give me those. Give me those right now. My daddy got me these. Please give me that right now. These are not toys. Do not touch.
You're not.
There we go.
Bella, home outside. Me. Oh my goodness, stop. I'm not tasting. It was so cool. No. It's not fun, Bella.
So
I
I want to point out a couple of different things. So Bella, there's your phone, baby. Thank you for letting me use it. Thanks, Tracy.
Do my
So Bella, here's yours. Will you plug her up with the white? Mila, will you plug hers up, Bella? So I want to say something to you guys because this morning, when I was on the other live this morning, and it was in 1993 Twins TikTok live, right? There was a black guy in there who made a throw off comment about George Floyd.
I was watching a video of a new teeny pig.
Cool. Can you show me when I'm
There
done?
was this box teeny pig that was like inside this box, and the box opened.
Cool.
Now.
Can you show me when I'm done? Okay. So let me just say this to you all. If you all believe that George Floyd was just about one person, you would not be correct. And even if it was just about one person, it should be. It should be. We should never ever be okay with watching one person have their breath taken at all, and especially by police. Right? And I think the thing that gets me about this is that, do you all remember who the person was that recorded the video? The full length video, the person who started recording? Who was that? Do y'all remember who it was? It was a teenager. It was a young black girl. It was a young black girl, a teen. So I'm wondering, how is she? Has anybody, did she get services? What did her support look like? I don't care what we think. I don't care what we think. You cannot watch the consistent unaliving of people, or even the first unaliving of someone, and it not impact you. I really thought about that entire community that sat there and watched it in real time. If you feel the way you feel and you just watched it on TV.
Wait, no.
Oh, thanks, Thea. I appreciate that. Right? Did she get what she needed? Do our children? Oh, thanks, Wondering. I appreciate that. Little kitty cat. That was super cute. Do we get what we need? Do we give each other what we need? People think that, when you come into my lives, you won't see the regular debating about whatever. I do want to have conversation. I do want to talk about policy and all those things. And I want to talk about people, because what I believe is that when you touch the hearts of people, it doesn't matter what the policy says. Thanks, Wondering. Do you follow me? It doesn't matter. The policy can be to do harm. And when you touch the hearts of people, they'll be like, I don't care what that policy says. I'm not doing it. I don't care what it says. I'm not doing it. Because that's a human being. I'm not doing it. You follow me? So should we be focused on elections and people running for office and and changing laws and all of that. Yes. And at the same time, we must be having this conversation, all of these conversations with each other, difficult ones, challenging ones, hard ones. And the same way that we sat there for 8 minutes and 53 minutes and it was very hard, right? Sometimes you have to let the silence do the heavy lifting in these conversations, right? You follow me, folks? These are the things that are critically important. Hey, Lizzie. So, like, as I look at where we are, I 100% know that it ain't great. I also know that 49.9% of voters voted for hatred, for bigotry, and misogyny. I got that. And riches. Let's don't forget that. They voted for hatred, bigotry, and misogyny. And some people voted for money, and they were fine with hatred, bigotry, and misogyny being the pathway to their money. Got it? But there were 48.5% of voters who voted against it. And then there were tens of millions of voters that couldn't get themselves to vote for it, even though they didn't vote against it. So what does that tell me? That tells me that those other 20 million, 30 million that didn't vote at all, they're not for the hatred, bigotry, and prejudice, at least not most of them, or they would have been voting for it. So I think that there are more of us than not that don't agree with it. That's the silver lining. But we have to get to the point where we are creating understanding. We have to get to the place where we are creating understanding in order to avoid the same stuff. So how do we overcome the stereotype that a black man with a cane is the black pimp? Because I would say this, the statistics show that the predominant people that are pimping ain't black. The majority of the people that are participating in unwilling personal relocation of victims, 60% of them are white males. Mila, get off her back. I gave them the stats and the numbers. The link to the report that I'm citing is in my link tree. It's in my link tree. Okay. And can we just talk about some different things? So I also watched this past weekend, I watched this new series, Who is Luigi Mangione? Has anybody else watched it? I watched it over the weekend. Anybody else seen it? I watched it. And I have to tell you, I feel some sort of way about some of the things that they said. And I'm going to tell you why. I didn't like the criminologist. The criminologist made lots of assumptions about him that I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, it was on Prime somewhere. It's who is Luigi Mangione, right? I wasn't feeling her. And whoops. Sorry, I got to call her back. But so let me just say this. There were all of these things. Now, let me just tell you the way that they started out this documentary was talking about Brian. That was Nanny. I got to call her back. But so they started out talking about the healthcare CEO, United Healthcare. One moment. Come here. She wants the blanket, Bella, that you're laying on. Thank you. Be nice to each other, girls. Brian Thompson, thank you. So they started out talking about him. And do you all remember the words that they used to describe him? Do y'all know what they were saying about him, about the lawyer, Brian Thompson? I mean, not the lawyer, but the United Healthcare CEO. They were saying Brian's such a good guy. And he was a valedictorian, just like Luigi Mangione was a valedictorian. And he was so successful, and he could do such good things in the world. And he was just taken away too soon. And how their family was just this Leave It to Beaver family and all the things. And they kept saying what a good guy he was. And then the second thing, I remember the police officer talking about how crazy it was for in all his years of service, he'd never seen a businessman gunned down like that. Okay, let me just be clear about something. Businessmen are no more important than anyone else in this world. This perceived hierarchy that we have in human value and human worth has got to go away. Has to go away. Whether it is a sanitation worker or a businessman does not matter. There is no hierarchy in human value. None. And when we talk about a good guy that could have done so much, let's talk about that. Because does the good guy run a multi-billion-dollar company, right, that denies health insurance to people for profits for their investors, for record profits for their investors? Thank you for subscribing, Abdul. Like, is that the definition of a good man? Are you a good person? Are you a good person if you work for a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you have policies that deny claims for health procedures that people need, and as a result, those people unalive? What makes you a good person exactly? The fact that you have a charity or that you donate money to charity? Do I care if you donate money to charity and on a daily basis you deny policies and people unalive as a result? Do I care? I do not. I do not. I do not care if you donate to cancer research if your policies don't pay for cancer medicine. I don't care if you donate to St. Jude if your insurance company denies claims for treatment. Right? I don't care. You follow me on this? I don't care. I don't care if you go on mission trips. Hey, stop screaming, Mila. I don't care if you go on mission trips with your church, if on a day-to-day basis you run a corporation that denies 70% of the claims that are presented to your company and people unalive. And let me just say this. If you became the CEO before you were 50 damn years old, you are most likely not a good person. Good people don't become multi-billionaires. I'm just saying, folks. It's not a thing that happens. And if you believe that it does, you have to ask yourself, what is your definition of good? Like, what's the requirements? What are you judging people by? And what are you giving up in order to justify that? Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate it. Right? We have this fake, false narrative that good means you go to church or mass or mission trips. Hey, Mila, stop. And that somehow makes you good. Or you donate to charities. Or if you're like Elon Musk, let me tell you this. If you're like Elon Musk, you do donate to lots of charities, but it's yours. You might give a whole lot of damn money to charity, but when it's your Musk Foundation, come on now. Come on now. Hey, mama. Right? If you're bragging because You gave away millions of dollars to charity, but the charity is your own foundation. Nah, bruh. I'm just saying. And there's a lot of that. Do y'all know that the healthcare monopoly that I have been fighting against in Northeast Tennessee, they are a legal monopoly created by the state legislature, where they control about 97% of all of the, she did mock me, 97% of all of the inpatient population, and they have the nerve to have a foundation. They're a nonprofit healthcare system. They have their own foundation. They also have a venture capitalist side to their foundation. They also own a credit union. This is the healthcare system, y'all.
If you show me how to put those on, I can put them on.
Yeah, let me show you. You have to, I don't pinch your fingers because you have to pull it in. Thank you, baby. You follow me? How does that work? Since when does a healthcare system own a damn bank, own a foundation, own a venture capitalist side of your company? Come on, y'all. And then you claim that you're a 501c3, but you're not. Not when all of your executives get together around the same day of the month within the same 2-week period every quarter and donate to the same politicians. I said this before and I will say it again. When we first started talking about Luigi, right? I'm going to get to you in just a second, T. Listen, when we first started talking about Luigi Mangione and Brian Thompson, let me just be clear. There is no different than the corner boy in the hood and the corner boy in the corner office of the corporation. There is no difference between those two individuals. You're just the corner boy in the corner office of the corporation, selling the same party favors or denying the same health care, right? But here's the thing, like real talk, do you want to know why so many young people in the neighborhood look up to, even though they know those people are doing the wrong things, like by selling the party favors? It's wild because those folks still be taking care of the community, right? Sometimes those are the people taking the food around to your granny and your nana, right? Those be the reasons that the young boys have uniforms for their soccer teams or their basketball teams or whatever. It's crazy because at least, listen, y'all think it's like, I think it's crazy, but even prisoners have their own ethics and morals. I don't even see prison ethics and morals in corporate America. Do y'all see prison ethics and morals in corporations? Because I don't. Just saying. So like, even when we looked at these statistics, when we were talking about the transporting of people against their will, right? Whether it's for sexual exploitation or child exploitation, right? When we talk about that and we realize that number, when it comes down to specifically children, who was it specifically when it was children, y'all? And what percentage? The percentage of perpetrators of sexual exploitation and other abuse of children, 92% are men and 72% are white. Do you know how many are black? Do you know what percentage are black? 11.3%. 13.5% are Hispanic. Out of those three major categories, white, black, and Hispanic, black is the lowest. Yeah. Why? Because in our community, you don't play with children. Some of y'all gonna be real mad when I'm talking about it, but I'm gonna talk about it because we're gonna call a thing a thing. When you look at churches, predominantly when it comes to the children, who are we talking about? Right, these are the facts. And if the facts make you uncomfortable, great, please stay. If they make you uncomfortable, please stay. Sit with it. Because this is how we have the conversations. Right? So it makes me, I sit back and I listen to Lauren Boebert, and part of me wants to go, I know you're not talking about a pimp cane with your Beetlejuice theater getting felt up, vape, whatever, son going to jail, all the things. Like, not you, Lauren. And you represent what is wrong, a large part of what is wrong with the United States of America, because there are people who simply do not know facts. Mila, Ann. They do not know facts and do not want to know facts. And instead, they will perpetuate the lies, the stereotypes, even though they know even though they don't apply.
I see it.
Right? This is, yeah, it gets old real quick. Let me bring up T real quick.
I see it.
Hey, girls, stop it now. All right, T.
Stop.
How are you doing?
I'm good, doll. How are you?
I'm okay. It's been a little bit of a rough day since this morning, so I want to talk to you about something that's a delicate subject, and I would only talk to you because I know you know me. So this morning I was in that live, and I was listening.
Mm-hmm.
You referenced I got so incensed over the guy that you were speaking to, and I'm not going to mention his name because I do not want him to have one more follower, because I think that he is a detriment. And when I clicked on his profile and seen that, I think it was 2.some million people that follow him.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to write something, Danny, in the comments, and I caught myself, and it bothered me so bad. I go back and start crying. But you know me, I'm a hot mess. Because I started to say something about him, but I was going to reference him in a way. So this is what bothered me. Because just to me being incensed, I was going to say and typed in, and I had it typed in the comments, and right before I went to hit send, I caught myself. And I don't want to catch myself, and I want you to understand what I mean. Because I was going to say, boy, you are the dumbest idiot in the world for doing what you're doing. Had I said that in that live and called him boy,
Yes.
to me, I was representing him because he looks like he's 17, 18 years old. And, you know, never judge a black person's age because you just black don't crack. You just don't. Just don't. He could have been 50 years old and still looked 18. I do because I'm filled with Botox, but that's another conversation for a different day. But it bothered me because I had to catch myself from saying that, because if I didn't have, it would have been taken completely out of context, and even though I belong to you and I'm one of yours, you would have known.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he has so many viewers and spreading the things that it's not just a detriment to black people, it's a detriment to all of us, to everybody. Because right now, yeah, there's black, there's white, there's Mexican. We're all in this shit together right now.
100%.
It don't make no matter what you are, where you come from, unless you're a billionaire. We're all in this together.
Oh, well, you heard him say today he made his first million, so he's got a few million, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I was just so incensed, and I was so mad. And then the way he brought up that he donated to the gentleman's life that you were in $250. I would rather have him given that money back, and all of us in that life send that man $1.
Yeah.
Than to take that guy's money.
Yeah. So the way that this was my first time ever being on that panel, right? And so what happens is that in that live, if you saw, there was a thing up there and it says, send me a dino and I'll boot somebody off the live. So somebody had sent a dino to boot him off. And then he was sending, I don't know, whales, and I guess there's another gift called Future City and all the things. And so that's what he was gifting to get back up on the panel after he got booted off. And he was going back and forth with somebody else about it. Yeah, this was my first time. Y'all, I don't know who Joel is. I don't know him. And listen, and my life was not lacking because I did not know him. I gained nothing from being introduced to him today. Like, there was no benefit. That's one of the reasons why I asked him. I said, what is your purpose? What is your, like, and he said, to educate and inform. And I said, to what end though? Right? Because the Triple K, right? The Triple K, their goal is to educate and inform, but in a particular way for a particular outcome. So my question is, and he never answered, to what end? Because, and here's the thing, if I got to ask you, that means you're not educating and informing the way that you're supposed to be, because there's not a single person who follows me and does not know the end, to what end for me. There's not a single person that follows me longer than one live to not know to what end I do things. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what it should be about. You should never have to tell me, oh yes, he was Djangoing all day. And I shouldn't have to tell you what I'm about. That's why you're supposed to be able to look at my fruit and know. And if all I see is you jabbity jaws, and that's why I told him, that's your shtick.
Yes.
That's your shtick. Because without it, you would be nothing.
Right. He and there was a lady in the live with you. I think she may have called herself a person that had voted Republican or voted for Donald Trump, and she kept saying, well, she was against the things that he was saying and doing, but on the same hand, she was saying that she was, she was good of his shtick, and props for making his coin or whatever. No, because those coins are a detriment to all of us.
Can you give me some more?
And I don't mean this bad, because I'm from the South. Our vernacular is different. Black people in a lot of ways have a way that they have their vernacular that they speak to people, because black people can talk to other black people the way that a white person cannot talk to another black person. You just don't. And you know what I mean by that.
I do.
Listen, that guy has worked so hard on his diction. He will put Martha Stewart to shame. I'm telling you, and that's not to say that you know what I mean.
I do.
To say this black people doesn't speak proper English. This guy's diction was beyond the pale of diction.
So
he's whiter than I am, and I'm as white Southern blue blood as you can possibly get. I'm like, my God, did he come out of Martha Stewart?
Yeah,
because that's what it sounded like.
But that's his.
I want some more water.
Okay, baby. But that's what I'm saying when I say that's his shtick. So I didn't know he owns a truck that's called the white privilege truck with his black ass. He does. I didn't know that was a thing.
It makes sense.
But I don't know him. So this is what I'm saying. When the first time I was like, ooh, was when he threw off on Twin about his number of followers, as if the number of followers equates to your goodness, your efficacy, your whatever. You know what I mean?
Monetary for him, because you asked him that, Danny.
I did.
And he was equivocating things in people's prosperity or wherever they are in life based on the amount of money you have in your bank account. If that's all we are reduced to, then we are nothing, and that's all of us.
And that's
I'd rather be the person that I am.
Yep.
The person I know in my soul, then I had to have millions of dollars in the bank, because that's not going to benefit me at the end of the day.
Everything he did was about elevating himself and diminishing everyone else. And for me, that says everything that I really need to know about you. because I said this entire conversation, the measurement of success, has been how much money you make, the contracts you have, the number of followers you have, the all the other things, right? That was all they kept talking about. And I said, and every time I hear conversations like that, y'all know the song that pops into my head is India Irene, right? There's hope. That's it. Because
that song after you said it, because I've not heard that in forever.
Because that's what she said. She said, I met a young man in Brazil, right? Who made me feel that I could accomplish anything. She said, just like me, he wanted to sing. He had no windows and no doors. He lived a simple life. He was extremely poor. On top of all of that, he had no eyesight, but that didn't keep him from seeing the light. He said, what's it like in the USA? And all I did was complain. He said, living here's paradise. Paradise is in your mind. Oh, there's hope every time. And I'm not saying I understand the value of money and the need to provide. I have 3 grandbabies. I can promise y'all. I am grateful when people gift and when people subscribe. I promise, right? Mila, leave her alone, baby, please. And at the same time, I will not sell my soul. I won't. They have tried. When I tell you they have tried, when I first started protesting the medical monopoly, we're outside and it's like day 12 of the peaceful protest. And one of the guys, I won't say his name, but you know who you are. But let me just say this, because some of y'all back home will know, because you know I'm from a small town, so everybody know everybody. Let me just say this. I'm not going to say who you are. But you know you like to go running every day up Ravine Street, out in front of Holston Valley Medical Center, and you like to drive what you had then was a convertible BMW, even though you work in maintenance. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. So if you know, then you know. But anyway, and he stopped out in front and said, "See, Brandy said, yeah. See, you know what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. Enough said. But stopped out in front and said." You know, why don't you just pack it up and go home? Like, you know, wouldn't you like to take the grandbabies to the beach? You know, we send you and the grandbabies to a judge ordered Trump not to deport the Palestinian activists, by the way, y'all. It just came across my thing. Anyway, but they offered. Y'all want to go to the beach for a couple weeks? And I chuckled. And I said, nah, I'm good. I had another conversation with another person who was friends with the husband of a member of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. God, Danny, you're so smart. You know, you could be making a lot of money. Like, you know, you ever thought about doing anything different? We should talk.
Right.
No, we shouldn't. I'm good. I'm straight.
Yeah.
You know, but.
You got morals. You have substance, and that's more valuable than a bank account.
It is.
You got a soul, and you care about people.
That's it, all day.
That you don't even know, that you've never met. And you know, he said something this morning because it was a slide, but I'll tell you, I have worked hard, and before the hurricane hit, I made roughly close to about $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. I have $100,000 worth a year of bills too. But when the hurricane hit, I lost everything.
Right.
And let me tell you what $250 means. Let me tell you what $1,600 meant from your life that bought my mom and I mattresses. Yes. Because I lost everything. So let me tell you what $250 means. And I never knew what $250 meant until I didn't have anything left. Mm-hmm. All the way down to a toilet brush.
That's it.
You're $15,000 yourself out the front door of Target just trying to buy just the shit that you have in your house that you use every day that you don't think a thing about. I don't care if it's Ajax or Clorox. Yep. You'll financially break yourself.
And for those of y'all who don't
just get home, because I'm like, you know, yeah, $250 is a whole hell of a lot of money to a lot of people.
100%. And to those of y'all who don't know, when this happened, because T's in North Carolina, when that hurricane came through. And T popped up in here, and we hadn't seen him for a minute and I didn't realize that the hurricane, and that's where he was. Thank you for the dinosaur, Valerie. She sent it to you, T. Love that. And immediately we were like, oh, what's your Venmo, T? And we threw it up there, and immediately the people that were on the live sent money, and that money got T and his mama. Mama's 90. How old is Mama?
91. She just turned 91 in last September.
91. That's how old Mama is. And that money that was generated from this live got them mattresses, right? And that to me is what, listen, if you aren't doing those types of things, and if you aren't doing those types of things organically, right? Listen, when when Stacey D was coming to meet me in Ohio, and that car, she got up on the interstate, and that engine went go, 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 right? Guess what happened? People said, hey, how can we help? How can we help? How can we help with the down payment to get you in whatever you need to be in? Right? That is what, right. The pings on his phone. And that's what I'm saying to y'all. Like, if this isn't the type of community that you're cultivating, I don't know what to say. And I know that everybody is not meant to do the same things. I know that. I know that everybody isn't going to have my views or my whatever. I recognize that. And at the same time, I just truly believe that, especially in the time that we're in, what we are cultivating in this group, right, is it is more important and will have a bigger impact than much of the political talk that's happening out there, because
Absolutely.
it is about reaching people, touching people, having conversation with people, creating understanding with people. Because the more that we do that, I keep saying this, folks, when we create understanding means that I am less likely to harm you, and I am more likely to consider you in my everyday choices. That includes voting.
Absolutely.
Look, y'all know all about Joel. Talking about before he won money doing the American Ninja, bought himself teeth. Nobody looked at his ass. Well, he should have bought bigger teeth because he got a lot of gums left. Sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry, because I don't like him. So it's going to be hard for me to like be nice. And he was nasty to people. So that's another reason why
I never knew him or seen him or heard of him until today. And
Me
I wondered about how it not popped up that you were on. But then you were on someone else's live, and that's the only way I even know. I still to this day don't know who the hell he is or what he's done or anything. I don't care. I don't want to know, because whatever he's done, it's fruitless.
Yeah.
Anything that he's done is fruitless because he's using what he has done to the detriment of all of us.
Yes.
And that's horrific.
And that's the part that I think that people don't understand. When people say, oh, well, you know, sure, some people are going to hurt. What people don't understand is it's going to impact all of us. Y'all, I went to the store today to buy eggs, and I could not. They were out. They were not there. They were not.
$14.98 for 18 where I live, and you know where I live.
Well, listen.
$14.98.
At least you could get them. I couldn't get any unless I wanted scary eggs. That's what I consider. Because unless I wanted scary eggs, right? That's all I could get. And I was like, let me just hold on tight until I'll have to go to a different. And here's what I will also tell y'all, depending upon what grocery store you go to, right? I bet you if you go in the suburbs, you will find grocery stores. Y'all said, what are scary eggs? Okay, so listen, they do way too much to our eggs and our animals these days. Real talk, y'all. They do way too much.
You know, I told you I had to go into Publix that day, and the only thing they had left, that grocery guy, he said, we got some quail eggs. I said, what the fuck am I going to do with a quail egg? That thing's the size of a marble. I don't even know what you do with a quail egg.
Yeah, and let me just say this. When we talk, and they don't necessarily have to be, okay, so y'all don't think I'm weird, but just follow me about something, okay? Have any of you all ever seen like any of the vampire shows, like the originals or Twilight or any of that?
Favorite of all time.
Okay.
That's my favorite of all time.
Well, see, why did I know you would be on my right here? Okay, so listen, don't judge me, y'all. So, T, do you remember the scene where Elijah has met this one woman, and he goes to bite her, right? And she explains to him that you don't have to do it in a way that scares people, right? Because when you terrify people, it releases chemicals, and it taints what the blood tastes like. And she was like, it's better when you know how vampires are supposed to be able to like talk to you, look in your eyes, and compel you. And after that, he was like, oh, well, when you compel them, like, and so when I think about that in real life terms, animals are just like human beings, right? They're just like us. And we know that when we are scared, we do release things into our bodies and all of that type of thing, right? And I think about the way that we treat animals today. I think about the cages and the cramped conditions and the way they do cows and all the things. You cannot tell me that it doesn't impact what we get on the receiving end. So yeah, so give me some cage free range. I need them to like, I just need them to have had a great, good life. And then I need to, what's it called? Avatar. I need to avatar my way and be grateful. And this is the thing. It tickles me when people talk about saying grace. It's not just about saying grace to your creator because you got to eat. It is saying grace to whatever you eating that is there to give you sustenance. Like, appreciate you. Right. Happy chickens, happy egg. Right. That's it. And so it's just, I mean, when you think about it, it sounds so crazy, but it takes you all the way back to what indigenous people have always known and always taught us. They've always known that there's a circle of life. They have always known to give gratitude for your meal. They've always known that even after you unalive it, you give thanks when you kneel. Like, they've always known. It's the avatar, right? And so I'm just saying, yeah. So there's is it the eggs that have the flu or the chicken? Listen, all I know is there's a shortage now, and I went to buy some today, and there's not any. But it sounds so crazy when we think about this on the most minute level. We're saying the same thing about all of it, whether we are literally talking about eggs and cows, or whether we are talking about George Floyd, whether we are talking about politicians, whether we are talking about immigrants. We're talking about the same thing. Just simple respect and compassion for human and for life, for human life. That's all that we're saying, the same thing. Thank you, Carla. And so why don't we have that? Yeah, that Mufasa doctrine. Yes, the circle of life. Because what did he say? What did Mufasa say? Mufasa said, we eat the antelope. And when we unalive, we go back into the earth, and we go into the grass. And the antelope eat the grass.
That's right.
That's what he said. Right? But somehow we've lost this idea that human beings are so superior. No, we're not. We're really we are the problem. We don't own everything. It doesn't belong to us. We are we are blessed to coexist with nature and with everything that is around us, right? I'm just saying, y'all. And why we don't understand that compassion is, if you ask me, compassion is, hey Tammy, compassion is like the central component that we need. And it sounds really crazy, right? But it's compassion. You want to talk to me about education legislation? Compassion must be present. You want to talk to me about immigration legislation? Compassion must be present. You want to talk to me about healthcare legislation? Compassion must be present. I don't care what you're talking about. Housing, jobs, job security, unions, grocery store prices, monopolies. It comes back to that one thing, compassion.
And that's what we're the most lacking in.
Yep.
Because if people had compassion, we wouldn't be sitting in the situation that we're sitting in right now,
100%.
facing what is potentially coming this way. And I don't put things into the universe. You have taught me that. I mind my words. I try. I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, she would so yell at me for saying that. I'm like, okay, I take it back. And then I'm the whole Bible thing. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to take that one back. Throw it in the sea of forgetfulness. I'm going to mention that again. And I go on the next day. You see, you learn. And I've learned, Danny, facts don't care about your feelings.
No, they don't.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, they don't. Oh, thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. So let me just say this, y'all. When people say, what can we do? I'm going to tell you like what we can do. We have to have conversations with the people that are in our circles of influence. And we have to be having tough conversation. What's up, Rolo? I have not. Did you get my message? Because I messaged you back on Blue Sky, Rolo. Y'all, that Rolo is an immigration attorney, and he has agreed to come on to my podcast with me so that we can talk about real things and give accurate information for people. And I'm super excited and cannot wait. So yeah. So yay. Sorry, I saw him pop in. But here's the thing. We have to be about, you haven't, no worries. We have to be about these conversations that are within your circles of influence that are fact-based. Yes.
Don't get the envelopes in the door.
I dropped her phone from underneath the bed for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started stomping because she was mad I touched her phone.
Was Dominic helping you?
And her foot's the door.
Yeah, but he was helping you. So before you get mad, you have to wait to see if people are helping you. Good Lord.
I'm telling you, if you record that voice and send it to Disney, you will be able to retire. I'm telling you now. Because somewhere there's a little fairy on a movie to be made that has to have that voice. And she can read. You bank. You'll have all the Haagen-Dazs that you could ever possibly want to shove in your mouth.
They are something. Let me tell you what. He is very mature. He is so mature. So Sonia, he is. And I'm very blessed to have that. I'm not kidding. They are just a lot sometimes.
Well, that's the fruit of your labor.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you that here's the issue. Those of you all who've been following me for a long time, you know right now, what's Mila's issue? What's Mila's issue? All y'all know. Leisha, so the podcast has been pre-recorded up until now, the episodes, and I just did a test run today for a live stream. And so I'm going to do, right, Sarah, she's tired. Oh, Bella is the one with respiratory, you know that, right? But she is tired. And Bella is the one with the chronic lung issues. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is Tuesdays. This is preliminary. This is my preliminary schedule. Is I'm thinking Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 11 a.m. That's my thought process. Don't hold me to it yet. I'm just going to give it a whirl. I think I might have to test them and see. I might have to test the times and see like when is the streaming time the best, right? If you guys have suggestions, I'm open to that too, right? So, I'm just trusting.
She needs noodles.
No, she has had noodles. She has had them and hush your mouth. We're not saying that word. She has had them and we're not saying them again. Okay. So, yeah, Bella, and you are the same health issues. All right. So what I do want to do is open it up. If there are any folks that would like to come up and participate in the conversation, let me do that, and let me get the boxes set up for folks. Give me 1 second so I can get us all kind of.
Danny, you can kick me down. I love you as always. I gotta get Mom's dinner, get her ready because she's got a podcast coming on at 7 o'clock, and if it ain't time before then, it's the whole night. It's screwed up. Sorry.
I got it. Tell Mama we say goodnight. Love you too, T. All right, so let me see if I can find y'all. I found this thing once that told me how to do it. Hi. Mila Ann, relax, please. Switch. Let's see. Does that one work better? All right. No, Eric, she is a ramen girl, hands down. She's a ramen girl. She's Okay, thanks, Edith. Yeah, she's a ramen girl all day long, and her other thing is oh my gosh, what's the other one? She is a ramen thing, and she is that girl love her some like bourbon chicken and Bangkok chicken and orange chicken. She's that girl. So, all right. So let me just, while I'm bringing folks up here, let me go ahead. I know Slick, you've been with me many times, but for everybody else that's in the room who is new, okay, have a good one, Linda. For everybody else that is new, I asked for a couple of things, right? She does like Asian food. I'm going to ask a couple of things. One, that you be respectful. No slurs of any kind, because that will get you booted from the live. 3, don't spam my comments down there, guys. And 4, don't type in all caps. That's it. Okay. Other than that, we can get it going. What's up, Sonny? How are you, chick? All right, Slick Nasty, what you got?
Hey, Danny, how you been?
I'm good.
Check out this guy, but I'm just listening to you. I know. I'm saying, Danny, did Danny go off on this guy? I know that when you have, sometimes I heard you in Omega's live, and you would, the words, I'm saying, this woman is beautiful. You open your mouth, you just bring the claws out. Did you say anything to this Joel guy?
Not at first. It took me a really, really long time. Like, I let Joel go for a long time. And it wasn't until the very end, after I had listened to them talk for a good 15 minutes straight and had not said a word. And then the moderator had said, go ahead, Danny, you can respond. And so I was saying what I was saying, and he kept interrupting. And I said, I'm talking. And he kept interrupting. And I kept talking. I said, you're not going to talk over me. And he kept going. And then finally I said, you know what? Shut your fucking, I did. And then I said, you know what? This is the problem with you. I said, you run your mouth. You ain't got no damn integrity. That's why the fuck I can't stand you. And then we got there. But it took a long time to get there. And then I came back because they don't like to curse in live. And I came back and I apologized for dropping the F-bombs. But I'm just going to tell you, he earned every bit of that cussing out that he got at the end.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you said it, he did. Listen, I just wanted to tell you that the Sambo Nation is alive and well.
They are. They are. And
I don't know why sometimes we get surprised, because we have some of these same Negroids on the plantation.
Yeah. I'm never surprised, to be quite frank. Because it does take all types, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm never surprised by that. But do you know what he didn't like? What I asked him was, I said,
what was it?
I said, who hurt you? What black person hurt you? What
and
black?
There always is some trauma.
Yes. Yeah. And what I really wanted to ask him was, when did his mama hurt him? Because that's what I really wanted to ask him. That's what I really wanted to ask. But no, that's. It was somebody from another live. I was on 1993 Twins live, and so that's how it went down. But no, yeah, and I'm never in there. I just happened to. What it was I didn't feel like running my own live at the time, and I was doing a bunch of different things, right? And so it was just easier for me to hang out on somebody else's panel than to run my own. And so and it was a long live obscured. It really was. And so, yeah, so that was my, and he said it was gold. Right.
I wanted to say this to you before I left. You know, in our community, in our black community, we've had these same kind of talks. You know, that debate between W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, you know, that whole dynamic, which I don't think, once you look back at it, it wasn't dealing with the Sambo Nation. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were talking about real issues. They just had a problem how they were going to do it. Booker T took a hands-on approach. W.E.B. Du Bois took a more intellectual approach. But what we see right now is straight cooning. I mean, this is like some Joe with the cane and Mammy and everything.
So he got mad because somebody kept calling him Candace, because he wants to be kind of like the male Candace Owens. And he got upset about that. But here's my thing. The other thing, what T was talking about, is spot on, because the other black girl that's on the panel, she kept saying, I ain't mad at your hustle, but I am. I am mad at your hustle. If your hustle doesn't have integrity, if your hustle harms people, I am mad at your hustle. If your hustle supports bigotry and hatred and racism and sexism, then I am mad at your hustle. I am. To me, there is a wrong way to get the bag.
I agree. But listen, I agree. If you have to put your own people down to get ahead, that's part of the dissemination. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, you'll step on my neck just to prove some. Hey, I ain't gonna say the word, but that's good, Pastor. Everything all right.
Yeah, you know what I call him? I call him Steven.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I call him Steven. Yeah.
Listen, I jumped in because what you were doing the countdown.
Yeah.
And I understood everything. My best friend just passed away. And that trauma of watching stuff, this was 2 weeks ago. I spoke at his funeral. I just happened right after he passed. He was still in his bed. And as his best friend, I'm calming everybody down. But the trauma of knowing that he was still there still affects me. So imagine watching somebody get beaten to death and you're 17. Could you imagine what this young lady's thinking about?
No.
Bananas.
And
listen,
yeah. No, but that's part of the thing that I talk about. When I've said this before and I will continue to say it. When people talk about the youth of today and what a problem they are, I think about, and people talk about them like they're lazy, they're this, they're that. Let me tell you something. We have now entered, our millennials were about the first generation that grew up with active pew pew drills in school. They are the generation of mass school pew pews, right? And the same trauma that you experience when you grow up in neighborhoods that have competing organizations, right? The same type of trauma where it could be and it's just as somebody's driving by, right? I think that we don't give, not so loud, girls, at least they're playing now, but the thing is we don't give them credit enough, because we ask children every day to get up and go to school. How do you feel when you go into your corporate office the weekend after there's been a mass pew at a corporation? How many of you all, right? It's the same stress, but we expect children to get up and do it every single day with no issues, with no nothing, with no support, no wraparound services. They might have a counselor on campus for what, 2 days, 3 days, and then it's back to normal. And if it happens on a Monday, they might have them all week. But come the next Monday, they ain't there no more.
It's usually back to business as usual. I taught for 36 years, so I can tell you everything is so much true. And guess what? When I was a little boy, I was 66 this year, we were doing nuclear holocaust drills. Remember how you hide under your desk?
Yep.
That was my generation in the 60s. I mean, and when you think about it, I often tell my mom, I used to say as a child, Mom, if I'm hiding under a desk, a bomb goes off, how am I going to be protected?
Yeah.
It was always silence.
Yeah, because it ain't a real thing. But you are not TikTok friendly today, by the way. You don't drop the B words, the N words, the clear words, all of them.
Do I have to go?
All the big boom boom words. He done said them all, y'all.
Uh-oh. Do I have to go? Don't make me go.
I say he not friendly at all. He not TikTok friendly at all today. Right. We love TikTok shop. Sure do.
I'm sure I'm not trying to get you taken down, but
Yeah.
that's when I hear you talk. For everybody that's in the comments in here, I live in the South. I grew up in the Miami area, and I can still remember black and white water fountains.
Mm.
It's been ingrained in my head, and having to ask my mom, what is that? And just to see her try to explain to me as a child is bananas.
I can remember our swimming
That's
pools.
traumatic.
I I can remember our swimming pools in Tennessee. And remember, I was born. I'm over 50, but I'm not 60. And I can remember Clay Pool. That was the pool where black people went to sleep to swim. Was Clay Pool? Please, girl, stop. Give me a second. So like I can remember all of those things, and people don't realize all of it still sticks with you. It's still right. I'm not 60, but I'm over 50. Right, shush, little farmer. But I say that to say, you know, it wasn't that long ago. People would like to pretend that it is and act that it is, but it was not that long ago, folks. And we have to start having conversations that are rooted in facts. And when I say, listen, let me tell you something. When we talk about I don't care about your feelings, I do. But what I'm not really interested in are your opinions that are not rooted in fact. I do want you to bring your emotions to the conversation, right? If they are productive. I want you to bring emotions that are, I want you to bring passion, and I want you to bring compassion, right? I want you to leave all of the aggressive ignorance and the cognitive dissonance at home, right? Like you can feel however you want to feel, but you know what I mean? There's a balance, and we have to have the conversations 100%. So
I was on another live and I told the guy, I said, you need to get out of your bare minimum. And he was like, what is that? I said, feelings.
You silly.
Bro, I
Silly.
had to say it to him because I'm telling on myself once again, but I don't know how you do it sometimes. I think, even though you're younger than me, I want to give you your kudos. I went to your link tree and downloaded some stuff. I was in another live and I gave you props. And I was telling you, I got to go to Danny. Who's Danny? You go to her live. You're going to learn so much. I said, you think I'm not? I like to toot my own horn, but you have stuff documented, right? I'm just doing stuff off the top of my head. And I want to encourage you once again. You're touching one person at a time, but you're doing a mighty work.
Thank you.
And I just want to keep praying for you and uplifting you in some prayer.
I appreciate it.
You're not just helping our people. You're helping all people. You understand?
That is the goal.
Because in this fight, it's all of us.
It is.
Contrary to popular belief. You know, if black people are the only ones who get free, and you think you're just standing there and everybody's going to be on the sideline, you are really something is really wrong with you.
Yep.
This is not a one-man show.
It ain't.
This is everybody.
And I keep laughing because here's my thing. Everybody is so focused. Let me tell you what, they are only focused on the grift. They got us looking at DEI and women's access and women's rights, and all of those things are important and all of those things are significant. Meanwhile, I truly believe they sitting back going, let's see how much we can steal before the shit fall apart. Because I don't think they're going to plan to get away with it. They're just trying to see how much they can get done.
They just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks.
Yep.
We don't know that a lot of people are watching the ball
Yes.
and not watching the stash of what they're throwing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to stay focused on. All of this stuff about buying Green Lantern, this is just total baloney.
Yeah.
You know, it's the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. Everybody listen to me. This is a money grab. If you think it's anything else, all this money savings that you hear, they have no intentions on sending you any penny of that. Yeah. All they want to do, this is about how much money they can take before the 4 years are over.
And let me say this, when people say the damage will be real, we understand that, right? And that is why we have to work as diligently as possible to mitigate. But this is what I want all of us to do, is for us to start talking about what are we creating? What are we focused on doing and creating us as a collective? Because that's what it's all about. Right? That literally is it. I want to make sure that I get Stephanie and King Dom in here and One New York as well. But you're free to stick around.
Before I go.
Yeah.
If you had to give a 5-point bullet plan of how we should go further, what would be one of your first 5 things? And then you can drop it.
You mean as a whole country?
As a collective, or you can can keep it with one group, and then once we get that one group, then maybe spread out. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that okay, so things that I think that we need to be doing, is messaging in a better way. And
that's your opinion.
yeah, this is all my opinion. So what I would say, number one, is stop talking about damn Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I wouldn't. I would find personal ways to tell every story and every impact. So for example, I wouldn't, so like down in Florida, this special election, every ad that I have seen has been, we can stop Donald Trump in his tracks. We can stop 2025, right? And nothing about nothing about what else can we do after that. Can we do something else besides just that, right? So what I want to know, what I want people to be talking about is that I believe that progressives, independents, and Democratic candidates and people that are in Congress and in state legislatures and in positions should be holding town halls, community forums in all types of red districts and come with the facts. So I would be looking at the facts. I would know. So if it were me, I would take, and I've said this before, so I'm just going to take, y'all know I'm from Tennessee. If I took the state of Tennessee and I divided the state up, I would have Northeast Tennessee. I would have in between Knoxville and Nashville. I would add Nashville to like Midwest. And then I would have the Memphis and over. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have 5 parts of Tennessee, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zones. I would have town halls in 2 places in every zone, right? But I would do a northern zone, so split it in half. So here go my Tennessee map, y'all. I would divide the state up into 5 zones, and then I would cut it in half. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And if I am running for office in this state, I'm gonna go this way across, and then I'm gonna circle around and come down. So they're not at the same time. That way I can have a week in between for people to get there. What's wrong? Okay, come here. Let me see you. She got hit in the eye accidentally. Let me see. Okay. Can I see it? This one? Here. Okay. All right, let me see. Okay, you want me to kiss it? Yeah? Okay. It's all good now? Okay.
I said kissing on the eye always worked for me.
There you go.
It was magical.
So there you go. So that's what I would do. And I would be doing that as teams, right? Because you can team up together. You got 2 senators, right? For every state. Divide them up. Divide and conquer. Team up with your local people when you come. And then what you want to do is you want to figure out, so how many people in this district are on Social Security? How many people in this state are on Medicaid? What percentage? You understand what I'm saying? And I would be having those conversations with people because that's what they care about. How does it impact them? What would happen to you if the new policy that they just put in place that says, even if the government accidentally overpays you with your Social Security, instead of collecting it 10% at a time back from your check, they can now take your whole check. What would happen if you missed your Social Security check for 1 month? What would happen? What?
My phone in the hand.
Okay, let's plug it back up. So what would happen? And then have those conversations with people because that's what they want to know. What would that look like for you? And then you paint the opposing picture. What would it look like for you to know for a fact that you could count on your Social Security from now until the time that you are no longer here? If you could just know that.
Why are we not doing that?
Right.
Why
But
do you think your plan is that's spot on? Because I just told somebody almost the same exact thing. But why do you think it's not happening? That's your first point on your bullet point.
that's literally the first point that I would do. But the second, let me finish my little points and then I'll tell you my other part. So the next thing that I would be doing is I would look at the Democratic Party and on state and national levels. And then I would be looking at who is, so if it were me, y'all don't think I'm weird, I would pick John Ossoff for the Democratic Party, not because I love everything about him, but because he's cute and people will like him. They will listen because he's good to look at, right? I'm just telling y'all.
That's true.
John Ossoff would be my messenger. He would be my messenger for the Democratic Party. And I would, John Ossoff, he's one of the senators from Georgia, right?
Georgia, he's running, yeah.
Yep. And I would have Ossoff be part of the people that are talking about these issues out front. Why? Because he's cis, he's heterosexual, he's male, and he's cute. People will look at that man. Listen, I'm just telling y'all. I would pick John Ossoff, and then I would find me a white, conservative looking, younger Democratic woman. I would have her. I would have Jasmine come down just a little bit. I need her to tone down, and I would have her come down just a little bit, right?
Because they're making her the face.
Yep, she's the face. And I'm going to tell you right now, making a black woman the face of the Democratic Party is not what you need.
It's not going to happen.
It's not what you need right now. It's not that it won't happen. It's not what we need, because what we need right now is to bridge the gap. So what have I been telling everybody?
Tell them why, though.
Well,
tell them why. It's a racial component. Just say it to them.
Well, I tell people this all the time, though. So listen, we listen to people that are most like us, period. And what I've said is that if you want to address the ism, whatever the ism is, you need a voice from the group that's doing the oppression, right? So if I want to address racial issues, I got to have white people do it. If I want to address misogynistic, sexist issues, I need a man to do it. If I want to address LGBTQIA people issues, I need a cis heterosexual person to do it, because they are speaking to their demographic is the demographic that is doing the oppressing, right? So that's who I need to do it. When people say not Pete, okay, if I were using Pete Buttigieg right now, and I said this before on another live, Pete Buttigieg should be doing a live every damn day, and it should be called the Buttigieg Breakdown, where he breaks down every damn day. Right. He should be breaking down every damn day the positive wins for the Democratic Party as a whole, for court cases that are wins for the people. It should be the Buttigieg Breakdown every damn day. He has the platform. He could easily do it. And if he really wants to mix things up a little bit, he could be doing the Buttigieg Breakdown on different people's podcasts every single damn day. He ain't got to start his own. One day he can be with Don Lemon. One day he can be with the Midas Touch. One day he could be with whomever, right? They already have listeners, right? So all he's got to do is be the guest. And now people want to know, what are Democrats doing? Damn it, tell them. And tell them on platforms where people are, right? People not watching C-SPAN all damn day. You have to tell them where people are. Okay, so that would be number 2. So I would have my senators and my representatives, right? And I would literally have them teaming up and dividing your states up into zones, anywhere from 1 to 5 zones, and then have it north and south. So it would be a total of 8 to 10 zones, period. You got 12 months in a year. You can cover 8 to 10 zones in 4 to 6 months. Done. And then double back at the last half of the year. So if I take 6 months to cover 10 zones, I could turn around and the last 6 months cover those same zones in reverse and do it again. Why? Because I'm not waiting until election season to touch people. I'm not waiting until election year to ask people, what do you need and where are you? And then you know what you do? You show up, not just to town halls and community forums. You show up to events where people are already going to be. So when do you have your biggest county fairs? When do you have your biggest events, your race events, your this event, where people are already going to be? If you are from the city, listen, take your ass to the country fair and have a farmer tell you about their crops, about their animals, about their whatever, and laugh at yourself. I'm a city boy. Don't laugh at me. I said, don't let me step in no horse shit, right? Let those people know that you are a real person. I don't know what you need show me, help me, explain to me why, right? You have these types of conversations with people. And if it were me and I were Democrats, I would get my ass out of black churches and into black neighborhoods. Get out. This is not the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s. Black people not sitting in church waiting on you to tell them to vote Democratic. They not.
This is true.
Nobody wants to hear those souls to the polls. The black people in church already going.
Because that generation is almost gone.
They
I
done.
agree with you.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And like I'm just saying, so those are just some of the things. And then, oh my God, for messaging, really simple. No, Renee, I shouldn't run for office. No, but I'm happy to consult with anybody. But the other thing that I would be doing is around messaging and conversations. You would not hear me talk about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The same way on my lives, you don't hear me talk about them hardly at all, unless I'm talking about a specific thing that has happened, because they are not the focus. It's what they're doing and the impact on the lives of people. That's what's important. So what I want to talk to you about is real talk. Do you think it's fair? My 84-year-old uncle has actually said to my 80-year-old mother, well, sis, I guess, if I had to, I could go be a greeter at Walmart. Now, this is a man who has served his country, who has survived colon cancer twice, who has had a broken back in the last year and a half, 2 years, right? And he's 84. Why should he, at this stage, thank you guys for gifting subscriptions, why should he be talking about being a greeter at Walmart? And so this is the question. This is the question to people. Do you want your mama to go work at Walmart? Right? I'm just asking. Do you think a person?
You don't want to see me mark at Walmart.
Right.
Wants to see me mark. Yeah.
No, they don't. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe that a person that makes $8 million a day should pay zero in taxes? No, me either. So why aren't we taxing corporations and Elon Musk? I don't understand. Right? And so these would be the way that I approach issues. When I talk about AB, oh my God, when I talk about AB, so YouTube and Facebook, that's abortion, but I can't say it on TikTok. When I talk about AB, I don't argue about fetuses and when does life begin or don't, because it's not about that. It's literally not. Do you know what you need to make everything about? If you want to reach independents and conservatives, you need to make everything about money. You need to show them how every policy is a win fiscally. Every policy, how does it benefit you financially? And then if it doesn't immediately, be honest about that. Say, listen, so let me show you this. The same way sometimes when you make an investment in your 401k, you might not get the payoff in the first year. And I'm just going to I could lie to you. I could lie to you and tell you you're going to see this immediately, but you're not. It is going to take like a number of years because we didn't mess up healthcare overnight. So it's going to take us a minute to fix it. But here's what I can tell you is that if at the same time that we expand Medicaid and at the same time we provide basic access to healthcare for people, right? At the same time we do that, if on a parallel journey, we also raise the corporate tax rate, it will offset those costs and we can keep your rural hospitals from closing. We can keep more people coming into the area. Listen, do you understand? If women want to have healthy babies, you need OBGYNs. OBGYNs are leaving states like yours that are passing legislation. It's not about whether or not you agree with AB. Do you want people that want babies to have providers? Because if you do, that's not what you're making happen right now. They're leaving your state in droves. They're not even becoming OBGYNs in school. Right? So
I think, listen, your bullet points are straight on. That's why usually I'm saying something. You see that my mouth was zipped. I am totally in accordance and agreement with everything you said. I just think one thing is a disconnect, but I think more pain on some people has to be achieved before they listen. Prime example, everything you just said about about Social Security and everything. Certain people in certain communities believe that rich people are their friends. And for some strange reason, they've connected mentally, even though it's a false equivalency. They've connected mentally with them to the point they'll support them in their own demise. They'll cut off their own nose to spite their own face.
Yeah.
So my thing is I think everything that you're saying is correct, but I think people are starting to get the message because of the firings and everything. But I think, unfortunately, a little bit more pain is going to be needed for them to be pushed over the rainbow. That's just my opinion. And me and you talked about this before. I just think that some people need a little bit more of the boot stuck up in the crack of their behind.
See, and I don't think so. My goal is I don't think that people need it, and I think that you can reach people in a different way, right? I really do believe that you can. The thing about these conversations, I saw somebody in the comments say you always want to tax businesses. Well, you want to tax businesses appropriately, and you can do that responsibly.
Yes.
So the same way when we talk about taxes and taxing the rich, if you're not making $400,000 or more, then you ain't got to worry about it. You can apply that same thing to small businesses, right? You can have a scaled corporate tax rate, the same way you do everything else. It doesn't have to be a flat tax rate for every single business, right? You can, there are ways to do this. And so when we say, oh, you shouldn't tax businesses, no, that's not real. That's not realistic. And yes, we should. And yes, we should super rich people. People say, oh, well, just because they have more. Yes, because this is how productive society works.
Well, I live here in South Florida, and I can tell you, when I say the pain, I don't mean that I want people to actually be harmed. But I'm saying is, look at the Venezuelan community here. They was out there
pick them up now.
The merengue and everything else here in South Florida. They were dancing Donald Trump. Yeah, they were just singing up. And until they took TPS away, they did not get it. And what I'm saying is, I'm just making an equation that maybe a little bit more pain for some people. I think the farmers are getting it because the USAID, that was taken away from them. A lot of people don't know that they were giving crops to the government.
Well, so
people couldn't make that connection.
But a federal judge came back and ordered them to pay those farmers. So if a farmer has done the work, yeah, my daughter called. So what they have done, thanks Flanese for resubscribing, but what they have done is a federal judge just said last week that for USAID contracts, for work that has already been done, those funds have to be paid out. So thank God that is happening. But I shared, like, it's in my live, and there's a whole graphic that I need to put it up in the Google Drive, I think, but it's a whole thing about like what percentage of your states are impacted by USAID. But so these are just, you asked me for my top 1 or 2 or 3, and so I think I gave them to you.
Let me say this, then you can drop me. So you see what you just said about the farmers, so now they're going to get their money.
Yeah.
I believe, and I'm a realist, people have short memories. So a lot of these guys voted for Trump. And now that this money is being released, they feel some comfort. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now that they're comfortable, and I look at it as like almost like a drug addict. I got my fix, and I won't come back until I need some more. You get what I'm saying? So now that they get the money has been released, I don't see a lot of them out there posting and everything because they got what they needed.
Right.
And
I
that's
hear you.
my only fear about some people. Okay, it's basically like when black women were out there trying to unify everybody, and then everybody else voted against their own best interests. Now everybody wants to come back into the fold and hold hands and sing Kumbaya. So I just think sometimes when people get what they want out of the deal, they walk out of the situation.
But that's
what I have a fear of that.
Okay, so you don't say the word fear about 5 times, and I don't do that word. I don't do the word fear.
I know that.
Yep, I don't do the word fear.
I don't fear it, but I'm just saying these people are
No,
see 'em,
that
they
is a
have
negative
their
prejudgment. Listen, I hear you and I understand where it's coming from. I hear you
Right.
and I understand where it's coming from. However, I am not going into anything with a prejudgment that has a negative outcome. And here's what I'm going to say. This is why it cannot be a one thing. It has to be a multi-pronged approach. And there has to be a reminder. There has to be a reminder. So you know what every damn Democrat should be doing right now is grabbing every video, every news interview, every social media post with every farmer that was crying their eyes out. Y'all need to be taking every bit of that, and every 3 months throw them shits out on a damn commercial. And then you need to make sure that, and in that commercial, have the notice from the judge. Yes, baby. In the morning.
Like ears are like both of them now.
Both of them now.
And like I can barely hear myself.
Yes,
Okay.
Brandy, I've seen several
I got you.
also.
So this is what I'm saying to you all, right? Is you take all of that information and then you have the reminder, right? And this is why you don't just run, like, where'd all the damn ads go? Where'd all the ads go? I don't want, listen, do you know why they mess up? They text you 50,000 times the last 3 months before the election. They bombard your TV the last 3 months before the election. And then they make you sick of it and they make you check out. That's dumb. Literally, right now, there should be ads running. Right now, there should be ads running where they should be showing all of those farmers, all of the things from the judges, the only wins that are coming. All of it needs to be happening, like literally. Because if you do that consistently, people need consistent reminders, consistent conversations. And listen, I don't want a single text from the Democratic Party right now asking nobody for no damn money. Stop. Go to your billionaire damn donors, or some of you folks in Congress donate to your damn self because you got the money. I'm dead ass. Stop asking average folk for money right now.
Let me say that to you. I saw the UAW. The leader. So when I have fear of myself, it's stuff like what he just did. Working with Donald the Man, Mussolini, but he was on the Democratic stage preaching something else. That's the stuff I'm talking about. And what you just said is we have to remind people of what he said.
Dominic, come here.
Remind people what the farmers were saying. And, because once people get their fix, they're good. They're Gucci. So I understand exactly what you're saying. And I think you're right. We have to keep reminding people of what they said before and what happened, because people have short memories. The UAW president, now I saw him on TV and I was like, wow, look at that right there.
Right.
He totally did a 380. And now is Donald Trump, It's bananas.
Yeah, agreed. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It's always a pleasure.
You too.
Your source of information is unmatched. Keep up the good work. I'm going to keep coming up and giving you love. And I've said everything I need to say.
Appreciate you, Slick.
Be good.
All right. Have a good one. Appreciate you. Can you show mommy what you just showed me, please? I just need assistance until I can get out of here. Okay. So really quickly, I want to do Stephanie, Kingdom, and one New York. Before I wrap, I need to take care of my grand boy. His ears are hurting badly. Yeah, baby. Yes, baby. That. What's up, Steph? What you got?
Hello? Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
I actually wanted to come up because I've been watching your live and my son wanted to say something, but say something.
Oh.
He's 10.
Oh, you can't say that on TikTok though, girl.
Okay, well, he's 18.
Just words. Go ahead, mama.
Go ahead, bud. Hello. I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day for doing this. It's like you're taking hours and hours of your day and spending it on doing something like this. It's really cool to know that there's people out here like you.
Oh,
It's
well,
good to know
thank
that.
you. It is good to know that there are youngsters out there like you that are listening and taking it all in. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's just like, I like the fact that there are people out here who do stuff like this.
Yeah, we got to do it, right? We got to make sure that we leave the world as good as we can for folks like you. You got a lot to do. I appreciate you.
It's honestly there's a lot of people, there's very few people who do stuff like this and take hours and hours of their time and spend it trying to spread words, trying to spread good messages to people,
Yeah.
and say a lot of good things on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that rare, but it's still kind of rare to find people like this.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your mama for listening and sharing. But absolutely, and I think that sometimes it's about the quality and not the quantity. I think we're going to be okay, and as more of us do this type of thing, and we have great young people like you to come behind us, we'll come out of this okay. We will. But thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. He's adorable.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Reminds me of my grandboy. I've got an 11-year-old grandson here. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Absolutely. So appreciate you.
He's very articulate
Yep.
for his age.
Yep. He reminds me of mine. So yeah, it's awesome. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for everything, and I'll let you do what you gotta do.
All right, I appreciate
Have a
you.
great day.
Thanks, you too. All right, what's up, Kingdom Hood? I got you and one New York.
How you doing? Hey, a long time listener, first time comer upper. So I appreciate you. I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
I just wanted to piggyback a little bit about myself. I was an independent, but I'm in California, and my state legislature asked me to be a delegate.
Okay.
So I'm working with them right now. So here's the thing where my emphasis is starting from the ground level. Yes, Temple Neal said it best. All politics are local. So we got to act locally, but think nationally. And I've been telling brothers, I said, listen, you have to understand that city power goes to county power goes to state power goes to federal power. And I always give them an extreme example. Like Louisville, Kentucky, 1960. You had the Black Republican Jesse Waters, Republican that wanted to make change and pass civil rights in Louisville, Kentucky. Bruce Hopkinson, a Dixiecrat, wasn't trying to hear it. He creates a political infrastructure. He galvanizes with the Republicans in the Appalachians. He gets Bruce Hopkinson out. He gets all the aldermen, city councilmen. Louisville, Kentucky becomes the first state in the South to pass civil rights legislation. Then you had the governor come in, Ned Breasted, 63, says, "Hey, I see these people are doing down in the city. I don't want to catch that smoke." Kentucky passes the first civil rights legislation. Then we know in 64 when LBJ did. And I always give them this example. And what I realized is the Democrats need to get back to basics. And we were talking to the DNC, Ken Martin, and I was saying, listen, you need to open up that map. You need to look at every district, every county, every city, and say, where can we get wins? The DNC needs to be funding political infrastructure throughout the South. I said, by the end of 25, you need to be halfway broke, or by 26, you need to be halfway broke. By 20, y'all should be all the way broke. Y'all need to be kicking money, open up the DNC and saying, hey, talking to people, why did you not vote for us? What do you see the problem with the Democratic Party? And create your political message around that. Because right now, we got horrible messaging or no messaging.
Yep. And so I said very similar things. So a project that I did in 2023 was I literally analyzed election data for 17 states for their and created the top 100 rural county list. And so it was literally data driven, not by where I thought we could do something or whatever. It was literally driven by the numbers. And so, and what I was sharing with people is how do you use that information? So if I know that there are 5 counties. So for example, I can pull it up right now while I'm talking. Hold on, watch. If I do my 100 rural counties, whoop, I hear you. Is that my sheet? Hold on. Oh, why do you not want me to? Okay. Sorry, I got to pull it up. And I have too many damn. Okay, here we go. Too many tabs open. It didn't like me. There we go. All right. So Thank you. All right, so here we go. No, Rebel, yes, it is. The link to the final project is there. So I did this for ruralorganizing.org. So if you go to my link tree or to their site, the top 100 is there. But if I were to show you like my raw data, where I did all of the comparisons. So I'm going to give you an example. In Georgia, what I found in Georgia was we had Baldwin, Dooley, Early, Jefferson, Peach, Twiggs, and Washington. Those were the counties that I identified. In those counties, listen to this. Remember, in 2020, I haven't done it for 2024, but check this out. In 2020, there was a 0.3% difference in the state of Georgia, right? Dems won by 0.3%. It was 11,779 vote difference. We should all know that damn number by now, right? 11,779. We all remember that, right? So guess what? In just those 7 rural counties, there were 20,752 registered voters that did not vote.
There you go.
Now, and you talk about your Senate race, all right? There was a 1.04% difference. The voting difference was 37,675. There were in the Senate, there was 24,283 people that didn't vote. So 65% of what was needed. And that's just in those rural counties. So if you know that, and then I broke it down and started talking to people about like this. So follow me. First, I'm looking at registered voters first. Why? Because if I'm living in a state that is not an automatic voter registration state, if somebody has to click the damn box and say, yes, I want to vote, and they don't vote, I want to have a conversation with you. And my conversation isn't, why didn't you vote for me? My conversation is, what happened? There was a time that you were interested in the democratic process where you believed in the power of your vote. When did it go away? How did it go away? What happened to it? Right? And then you start that conversation. You don't come asking nobody for their damn vote, because people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right? So it's that. And so I did this, like I said, for 17 different counties across the board. And you will be like, okay, so Pennsylvania. So y'all, so I could do them all, but let me just pick one that was, let's see. I could do them all. I have all of them pulled up, but even Virginia, right? Iowa, even. Let's do Iowa. Because Iowa is fun. 53%. Everybody hears Iowa and they think Republican, right? So 53% to 45% was the president's race. There were, now remember, all I did was rural counties. So Cerro Gordo, Des Moines, Jefferson, Muscatine, Scott, and Winneshiek. Now you might say Des Moines not rural. It is, and I'll tell you why. The population, it is almost 27% rural. So that matters. A lot of times what you will find is lots of rural folks are around on the edges and the outskirts of bigger cities. Okay. So follow this. On the presidential election for Iowa in 2020, you had a voting difference of 138,611. And in just those 6 counties, you had 64,103 registered voters that didn't vote. That's 46%. So almost half of the voting difference in just those 6 counties. House District 1, the voting difference was 20,774. And guess what? There were 68,731 registered voters that didn't vote. Same thing, House District 2. It was 8,277 registered voters didn't vote, and the voting difference was 26,000. You would be surprised how many times there's either enough registered voters that didn't vote, or to actually flip it, or registered voters that didn't vote that could have made a significant difference. And so that's what matters. So one of my big projects, which I don't even know when I'm going to have the time, is to go back and redo the same type of work from the 2024 election, but not just for rural voters, right? And then that's how we use the data. And then you use the data to have conversation. That's what you do, because that's how it benefits. So anyway,
I love it. I love it. You know, here's one of the things. I was going to when Gavin Newsom was cutting our budget here. So I was going to the state because I want to talk to my state legislator. What are you cutting? Why are you cutting it? And how it's going to impact my local city. So one of the things I asked state legislators in my particular senator, I was like, what do you see as the communication stonewall between your constituents and just public officials in general? She said this one thing that was very compelling. She said people don't know what to ask for and who to ask. So a lot of times we see people, they're asking, a particular public official for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
There needs to be education on the ground to know the person you're talking to, that is in their roles and responsibilities. So what I did was, in my local city, first of all, I did a survey. And 95% of people don't even participate in the local politics, which is part of the reason what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
And the second cause was they don't see the impact. See, the national election cycle is so galvanizing and polarizing, right? What you don't understand is the look and feel of your city is your mayor, your city councilman, your alderman, we have county supervisor in California.
Yeah.
So you need to be I go to city council meetings all the time, and they're yelling at the mayor about homelessness. I said, listen, you have to understand the mayor is responsible for the facilities, so they have to provide the housing. The county supervisor is responsible for the facility, for the services. You have to know that.
Right.
And so I started doing this workshop saying, here's your mayor, because we got to get back to basics. I'm sorry, get back to basics. This is this person's title, and this is what they're responsible for, and this is how it impacts you, and this is why you need to vote.
Right. And I think that what we have to do is at the same time, remember that when you are working 2 jobs, you ain't got time to go to politics school, right? So the thing is this is what I tell people all the time, is you take the top 1 or 2 pressing issues in that community, whatever they may be. And then that's the information that you go with. And it's a 1 pager, right? Like even if I did the 1 pager, if I said affordable housing was 1, public education was this, homelessness and whatever, then I could easily do a little pamphlet, right? With the subject over here, and then on this side, the name of the agency and the person that I should talk to be on here. And the first time you go through your community isn't, hey, I'm a delegate with the Democratic Party. The first time you go through, the second time you go through is, hey, we're just knocking on doors because we know that a lot of folks are concerned about homelessness or their public education or this or that. And we wanted to give you some information because there's some confusion around who you need to be talking to about these issues. So I just want to make sure that you were equipped with the information to get the services that you need. And that's it. I'm touching you. I'm showing you that I care. I'm empowering you. I'm giving you information, and I'm leaving you alone. And then the second time I come back through, guess what I'm doing? Hey, following up. Were you able to get help with the thing that you need? I'm going to tell you something Stacey Abrams did in 2022. And I don't know why every damn candidate isn't doing this. So because Stacey Abrams used to be in the Georgia House, and her name was A, it was the first name. Everybody used to call her about all they shit, even if they weren't her constituents, right? So over the years, she collected a database of information in each of the counties for the different organizations that handle different things. So we used to have in 2022, there was a website link, stacyabrams.com/ how can we help, or how can I help, or whatever. And when you went there, it was a quick little, almost like a Google form, and you put in your information. You had a drop down box to select your county, and then there was a list of about 15 things that if you needed help with. So whether that was healthcare, whether that was your VA benefits, whether that was emergent housing because you're being evicted, whether that was whatever. And so here's the way that I would approach people. I would say, hey, listen, I'm not coming to ask you nothing about voting, I swear. All I want to know is this: has anybody talked to you about our constituent services program? People are like, nah, what is that? So if you know anybody, because I'm not going to ask them if they're having trouble paying their rent. I'm not going to ask them if they don't have health insurance. I'm going to say, if you know anybody that's facing eviction, having trouble paying their rent, getting baby formula, which was a thing in 2022, right? Let me show you this little website right here. You want me to airdrop you the link? I can airdrop you the link. And then guess what? People are like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I had no idea that I need to do ABCD. Awesome. Right. And now I've earned the right to have another conversation. I've earned the right now to be able to say, okay, great. Do you need any help registering to vote? Or do you need help checking your voter registration? But now I have demonstrated that I care about you first because I have assisted you. And this is the part that the Democratic Party is missing, is that connection with people and that asking of the questions and that building of the relationship. And so I personally believe that this is the work that should be happening now. It should have started November 6th, in my opinion. Right? And that way, because I'm going to tell you now, if you wait until May of 2026, you're going to fucking lose.
It's too late. It's too late.
Exactly. So the conversation is, how do I help you? Right. I know Bernie is doing it, but this has to be in all the places. This has to be everywhere. And this has to be in places where people have need. People have severe need, especially in the South. When I think of like a lot of Trump's base, those folks have no real, and it's not because they're dumb. It's not because they're anything. I'm from the South. I am from where Trump rules. Okay. I am from where Trump rules. And what I will tell you is that folks there, they're not dumb. They're just very simple. And they're very trusting. They believe it when you say it. And when the good old boy that they grew up with, who's now in the state legislature, says they should trust this old boy, then they do that. And when this old boy starts saying, hey, I'm fighting for you, right? They got to come through me to get to you. Everybody wants to feel that way, right? Everybody wants to feel that way. Who in the Democratic Party do they feel like is willing to do that for them? Who's fighting for them?
That's correct. Yeah.
And we've got to be better at that.
That is spot on. And the number one complaint is we only hear from Democrats during the election cycle.
Court, yeah.
That's the number one feedback. Because I did, as asked, that's the number one feedback. They said, we don't hear from y'all until election time. We get all kind, like you said, all kind of text messages, all kind of donate to this campaign. When we're in non-election cycles,
they don't hear nothing. Do you know that you can? I'll never forget when I went home to take care of my mama, because my mama's still in Tennessee. And I went and I checked the mail, and there was like this little newspaper thing in it. Mind you, we didn't order it; it was just free in her mailbox, called the Epic Times. Y'all know what the Epic Times is? Go to rural white places. The Epic Times is a very right-leaning free newspaper.
Wow.
And they put that shit in everybody's mailbox. You ain't got to ask for it. It is there. You ain't got to sign up for it. There's no subscription. There's no paywall. There's no nothing. You just go check your box. And it's there. And it's there all the time, year round. Election season, non-election season. You do this, it doesn't matter. They do not take a break from rural counties and small towns. They do not take a break from saturating those markets. And when you combine that with Sinclair Media controlling the majority of the media, they are in a bubble, like it or not. And you can say, oh, but they have the internet. Listen, the internet, that algorithm is designed to show you more of what you engage with.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So when people talk about, oh, well, you have the internet, if I don't know what to look for, I can't look for it. And if everything that gets served up to me only reinforces what I already know, I'm going to stay there. I keep telling people, Stacey, I'm going to do your favorite little drawing right now. Y'all know I be into drawings and showing people this. So listen, this is a circle with all the potential knowledge of your brain, okay? This right here is what you know that you know. You know that you know this.
That's right.
This right here is what you don't know. This is what you know that you don't know. So for example, I know my ass don't know how to fly a plane. Right? I know my ass don't know. Right? I'm just saying, I know that I don't know this. But this right here is all the stuff that I don't know that I don't know.
The two.
Yes, baby.
That makes
What?
sense.
And if I don't know that I don't know it, how do I get to it? Somebody has to introduce it to me. Yes, baby.
What did I do?
To do what?
I'm trying to call Mila back.
Okay, let me see if I can. You might have to do mommy to get to Mila. Okay?
Okay.
So this is why it is so important for us to watch how we have conversations and to watch our judgment. You have to watch your judgment. What's up, P. Jones? Because you assume the same way that we talk about everybody has opportunity, but everybody doesn't have the same access to opportunity. We all have the same internet, but we don't all have access to the same things on the internet. Not because it doesn't exist, but because we don't know that it's there or that we need to know it. Right? So I'm just telling y'all, this is the stuff on how you do it. So Kingdom, watch the chat. You've been a long time watcher, so you might already know this. Let me ask you before I know this. What are the 4 pillars that every issue comes back to? Yep. What are the 4 pillars? Because I talk about this all the time. When you go to talk, I know I do. Thanks, Mom. Back. When you talk about what are the 4 things that see, Stacey D got it, Lizbeth got it. He. Everybody's talking about he. What does he stand for? Healthcare.
Economics.
Economic security.
Most of the Oreos are question. Like.
I'll fix it. Housing. Yep, and education. Stacey D got it. Healthcare, education, housing, and economic mobilization, economic security. Those are the 4 things. When you go talk to the public, everything comes back to those 4 things. And all you have to do is have 2 examples of what isn't working and examples of potential solutions that have realistic time frames and tangible outcomes. And that's it. That's it. Yes.
Wow. I know I was listening to you, and you really made me. I'm gonna change my message, my whole approach just based on this conversation. I gotta. Thank you so much. You see, to me, it's more of I'm so analytical and structured in what I do. I said, listen, everything's so black and white to me.
Yeah.
And that becomes a problem because there's so much gray. There's some shades of gray when it comes to people's economics, their pocketbook economy, how they're feeling, how their outlook on things, and
Okay, I got you.
Sometimes being so structured and rugged doesn't help. And I think that's the main problem with the Democrat Party. You got Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. Look, I got Maxine Waters here, right? Now look, God bless Maxine.
Okay, hold on. Because listen, my grandbaby's over here. His ears are really hurting.
Okay, we'll talk another time.
We're gonna do it. I'll be on tomorrow. One New York. I got a question for you. Do you need to go now or can you come back? I need to get him some medicine. He's really hurting. His ears are hurting.
For me, what I wanted to say to you was real quick, nothing eccentric. I just wanted to tell you I was in that early live this morning with you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to let you know how proud I am of you.
Oh, thank you.
I've been watching you also for a while. And with social media being taken from us, with all the facts being taken from us, I always direct people that I'm in contact with to you. For you, because I always tell them that you got a link tree back here that is fire.
Yeah.
And every time you speak, everything you speak about in your life is in your link tree. You are the, excuse me.